Hi, second grade readers. I thought we would come outside for a little change today in our reading lesson. So you've already watched the video where I went over our making predictions anchor chart. So now what I would like for us to do is to put what we've talked about before into practice. So I want us to read the story Nuffle Bunny today, and I want us to walk through our before reading, our during reading, and our after reading activities. So you can see that before reading, I need to look at the title and the illustrations and see what I can predict about the story from looking at those. So I look at the cover and I can see it's called Nuffle Bunny. So I'm going to predict it's about a Nuffle Bunny. Not really sure what that is yet, but it's going to be about that. I can see that there seems to be a little guy with his levee and legs. So I'm guessing it's about this little boy or this little girl. And this is really interesting about this book. Look at this, boys and girls. Can you see that it's a real picture in the background and then the characters are put over it? Isn't that a really cool artistic thing? So I'm going to predict that it is maybe a fictional story because we have these characters that are drawn, but yet it's probably going to be in a real setting. I'm going to predict that since there's a real background, looks like a little sidewalk, and that it's going to be about Nuffle Bunny. Okay, so I have looked at this and kind of made my predictions already just in my before reading. Now during reading, I want to stop as I go and predict what will happen next. So let's give that a try. Nuffle Bunny by Mo Willems. Not so long ago, before she could even speak words, Trixie went on an errand with her daddy. So I'm going to go ahead and predict that Trixie is a little girl because it said she went on an errand with her daddy. And look at these pictures. Do you see the background and then the characters are in the background? Isn't that nice? Trixie and her daddy went down the block through the park. Past the school and into the laundromat. Now what is a laundromat, I'm wondering? Where is it they're going? I see they're going into this place called the laundromat, but I'm not really sure what that is. Let me keep reading and try to predict what that's going to be. Trixie helped her daddy put the laundry into the machine. Oh, so if she's putting laundry in a machine, a laundromat sounds like something that's going to maybe wash clothes. Cool. She even got to put the money into the machine. Then they left. Wow. But a block or so later, Trixie realized something. Whoop. Trixie turned to her daddy and said, "Aggle fraggle crabble?" "That's right," replied her daddy. "We're going home." Now, I'm just going to look at this and think, that little face right there on Trixie, that does not look like she's maybe happy about going home. It looks like she's a little distressed, doesn't it? Okay, so we don't know what aggle fraggle clabble means yet, but I don't think it's we're going home. "Aggle claggle fraggle," said Trixie again. "Blaggle plabble, wumpy flappy, snurp." Have you ever been around a little boy or little girl who's learning to talk and they kind of talk like that? So I am predicting that Trixie is a pretty little girl because she's kind of talking just nonsense a little bit, isn't she? "Now, please don't get fussy," said her daddy. Well, she had no choice. Trixie bawled. When she went boneless. Oh, what do you think that means? She went boneless. Now, as a mom, I'm thinking it does not mean that her bones went out of her body, right? But have you ever seen little kids in the grocery store when they're not getting their way and they just go limp, right? I'm going to predict that that's what they mean by boneless. I'm going to use my background knowledge, remember what we talked about last week, and I'm going to be able to predict that she just kind of went limp. She did everything she could to show how unhappy she was. By the time they got home, her daddy was unhappy too. As soon as Trixie's mommy opened the door, she asked, "Oh, where's Nuffle Bunny?" Oh, uh-oh. The whole family ran down the block, and they ran through the park. And I'm noticing again that it's real background, and then the characters have been drawn over it. Isn't that cool? I love it. They zoomed past the school and into the laundromat. Trixie's daddy looked for Nuffle Bunny and looked and looked and looked, but Nuffle Bunny was nowhere to be found. So Trixie's daddy decided to look harder. Look what happens. He finds her. Nuffle Bunny! And those were the first words Trixie ever said. So do you know that we talked about what we did before we read? We looked at our title page, our title, and the illustration. Then during reading, we stopped and predicted what we thought was going to happen or what Trixie was talking about. Now, after reading, we're going to confirm predictions or adjust your predictions. Well, Mrs. Winters, I predicted a lot of things, and when we were talking about what is a laundromat, did I predict correctly that a laundromat was a place to wash clothes? Well, if that was the case, then I could confirm or say, yes, I got that right. Now, there may have been some instances in the story where I made an incorrect prediction. And if that's the case, then I would need to look at it and say, ooh, I didn't get that quite right, but now I know what happened. They found Nuffle Bunny. I may have thought they're never going to find Nuffle Bunny and he's going to be lost forever. If I thought that, it would be incorrect. And I would need to adjust my thinking and say they did find Nuffle Bunny. All right, so this is the process that we're going to be using this whole week as we talk about predictions with different stories. So today, I want you to try that with your book that you're reading. I want you to look at the cover and the illustration and think about your before reading things. And then during the reading, I want you to stop and make predictions. And then after reading, I want you to check yourself and see if your predictions were correct. Okay? Happy reading, and I will see you